Hey guys, Mark from Gunpla Network. Welcome back to another review, and this time I'm finally taking a look at the real grade Sazabi. As you can see here, swinging around in all its glory, very poseable whether it's on an action base or not. Big thanks to Hobbyco for sponsoring the reviews. Couldn't do it without them. And this kit is just amazing. I can't say enough about it. It's going to be a hard one to review, so hang in there guys. It might be a little longer than a standard review. And as you can see, spinning around from many angles. You might notice I've got a new camera setup at the moment. Not camera so much, not even backdrop so much, but I've just gotten an LED light ring and it has made a huge difference. All right, let's dig in, shall we? So, let's cut to the inner frame. Now, as you can see, that beast spinning around, fully undressed, I guess, no armor. This is a fully detailed inner frame, and it doesn't suffer from any of the early real grade syndrome. People have complained and said in many reviews that got to be really careful with those shoulders, and I agree. Be careful, but don't fear them. It's just how you move them. You need to be really cautious. So, as you can see him spinning all around there, he only has one or two pieces of the actual, as you would have seen from the unboxing, the standard real grade frame that comes pre-molded on a runner that you cut out and just put together. The rest of it is much like a master grade. Lots of armor pieces or frame pieces that snap around either a polycap or just join together over other tops of frame, and you're layering it. That's really cool because what you end up with is a much more solid kit that can support all the heavy armor and stuff on top of it. Probably would have been good for the real grade Sinanju, I guess. Now, if we come back, fully bolted up here, with all these armor parts on, in a pose with the beam rifle and the shield, both really huge. You can see color separation is great. Those different tones of red, yellow, the gray on the frame, the black, all really awesome. As you would have seen in the preview, there is a full, open hatch mode, I guess, much like the MG. Basically, I feel like I haven't built the MG Vercar, but this looks very much like a mini MG Vercar. Really solid, really detailed, so much more than any other real grade before it. Though, I will get to the new Gundam at some point. Hopefully, I'm just waiting for my local hobby store to get it back in. So, let's position him here standing. And there you can see, off stand, he's still really solid. He will just stand there on his own, due in part to those massive feet. Easily 2.5-3 times the size of any other RG Gundam feet. We're spinning back on the base again now, down at a different angle to try and show you some differences from when he was up on the stand. Here at the back, the propellant tanks, slightly movable on a little ball joint stuck into the backpack. You can see there the shoulder joints. This is the ones that people have complained they snapped when moving not carefully or so. I wasn't super careful when I was moving these about, but I didn't have a problem with them. I just made sure that I was moving everything as I was assembling it to loosen it up a little so it wasn't so tight. Still a very tight kit. Okay, so if we open him up here, take off the hand, and let's take off the beam rifle or beam shotgun. Can't quite remember what that one was. Decal sheet, sticker sheet, I haven't put any on yet because I'm waiting to get some water slides. The local place that sells them for me is out. They're not Bandai yet, but they're water slides. I prefer those over the stickers. Oops, caught him there. Okay, take the shield off. And there you go, no shield, no hands. Let's go through the accessories first before we get onto the articulation. Highly detailed shield. You can see like a vent piece in there, multiple layers. It's got this inner piece here, which is adjustable. What you do is, that's a locking mechanism, so unlock it, and then slide that down. You'll notice the Heat Hawk beam axe, or beam tomahawk, is inside there, and that just clips and unclips through little pieces that are holes in the axe, and a little, like not a track, but a peg, I guess, that holds it in place. So you can actually slide the arm mounting piece up and down over that. Just be cautious when moving it. There's missiles there, which just undock if you want to put the beam tomahawk in effect mode on the end of it there, so it becomes the beam tomahawk shield. That just unclips like that, and you just disconnect the missiles. They go in the same way. As you can see, the beam tomahawk just got locking mechanisms on the side. Now this comes with a few different beam effect parts. It comes with the shorter ones that I guess you just lock them in on the side. That's kind of like the beam tomahawk mode. And then you put a beam saber effect part that you get 2 of those in the middle of it. So you could have a beam saber and the beam tomahawk with the saber part out at the end of it. Just disconnect that. So I will say on that, you do get 2 beam sabers and 2 beam saber heads which go into the wrist. They're not actual full-size beam sabers in the wrist, just an effect to make it look like that. So there is fully assembled. You do get 2 other as you would have seen, long pieces effect parts that come with this. And it's a really cool beam effect part, not just a red or a yellow. So they just lock in there, and you don't really need, there'd be no point in putting the beam saber effect part because it would be shorter than the actual effect parts on the sides. But if you want to fill it in, go for it. Put that on. But that is huge. Let's just compare that to the side of the kit. It is as tall as the kit itself when standing on the ground. So any Jagans coming for this bad boy would just get pierced instantly. The beam saber effect part, there you go, is on a holding hand there. You get 2 beam sabers with 2 beam saber effect parts. Really cool because obviously prior to UC 0088, Xeon kits didn't really have beam sabers. They had heat hawks. So there's the other beam saber effect part. It's 2 pieces, a head and a body that lock in. Now the head of this, just actually, like I said, is in the wrist there. I'll take this out if I can, I might need tweezers. And you just bury that head in the wrist. It's the same piece, it snaps on there. And that gives the effect or the illusion. Now what you could actually do that I haven't done in this video is you could use the wrist pieces to have a beam saber effect part coming out of that. So, turn the beam sabers on while they're in the wrist mounts, which is really cool. So you get 2 open hands, 2 closed hands, and you get 3 holding hands. So 1 for the left and 2 for the right, which one is a trigger, and that goes here on the beam rifle. Beam rifle's got some good color separation. It's got gray, it's got a black, and it's got the red. The red is a piece that runs through the top there and gives the effect of power cabling, stuff like that. The trigger handle will move, and this is really cool. The pump shotgun action on the rifle, I love that. There is also, sorry you didn't see there, a canister, and that was coming out. It's kind of loose on mine, the ammo cartridge, and that just locks in there on 2 pegs. And that is really cool, guys. I almost don't want to paint that part. So that's your mini Shah Aznable 1/44 scale figure there in his, I'm torn. I'd rather see him in the pilot's uniform, but we've got him, there you go, if my camera focuses, in his Neo Xeon leaders, kind of clothes. Paint him up eventually. So if we talk about the articulation real quick, the arms, just carefully move those back, and like I said, I did not have an issue with the shoulders, unlike some people. The open hatch you saw. If we talk about the head, you will be able to turn this around a little, but he obviously has a huge kind of neck cover coming off the back of the head there. So not much in the way of tilt back and forward, just a little. Pretty solid though. Now, this obviously has the cockpit gimmick in the head. Oh, there, sorry, you can see the backpack is kind of hiding pull that out, the back of the headpiece there. So, yeah. The cockpit, I'll grab my tweezers. All you do is the front mask moves forward a bit. The clear piece, chin part, comes down forward. And it's hard to see because I haven't obviously put the green mono eye sticker on, but the grey piece in there is the top of the cockpit. The ball is buried in the head. So there, if you were to put the sticker on, you'd be able to see that behind the clear piece. So if we just push that back up, push the headpiece down, and if yours is a little loose, I wouldn't worry because I actually put a touch of glue on the big fin piece that comes off the back of the head on mine. It just kept falling out. Now there's no real movement on the chest piece. the front or the sides. I would have thought those would have moved a little, these side covers, giving it even more flexibility, but they're actually just on the frame. So what will move though is the shoulders have got a great amount of articulation on them. So those hoop pieces for the shoulder mounts on a standard real grade, push those in and then push the arm in to lock them in place, and that's what makes them more solid. I thought mine were loose at one point, but it's actually, at the time of filming, I didn't realize. I've now realized since that was my whoopsie, not the kit. You can open up the front, you can, and then reveal the armor frame pieces covering. You can open up the back piece, you can open up the top, you've got the side thruster piece. You can open up to reveal some more frame detail there. Like I said, I don't have a problem with these shoulder joints. Don't know what people's, problems are, but just be careful when building it, and you shouldn't have one at all. All right, now if I take that off, that exposes just the arm joint, the way it pegs on. Like I said, forgive me now, I didn't realize at the time of filming, it was my mistake on how loose that was, not the kit's. So if you push that over and then push the arm on fully into the peg into the hole, that'll lock that piece in place. See how highly detailed this is? Inner frame everywhere. That'll come out a little, rotate all the way up. Without the shoulders on, you can swing this thing all the way high. Now it does create a little gap there in the armor at the back, but obviously that's just to allow the mechanism to fully push in and sit in. See, no issues. Just move it carefully and the way it's designed to, and you won't have a problem. This piece here, you can actually flick this out. There, it just unlocked. If you unlock the armor piece all the way, you can actually pull down on the arm, and it's like an extension. So it gives you a bit more mobility when you're trying to get a shield pose or a rifle pose. That's really cool. This kit, for the size of it, has so many gimmicks built into it. You will spend hours playing with it and posing it. And don't be afraid to. This is one of those real grades, very rare, that is solid, and you can actually do that. So at the back, you can see there's piston-like movement on the back of the arm, whether you have that arm piece pulled down, unlocked or not. Forearm armor pieces, frame showing through. We've already talked about the beam saber component to the wrist. Now the side skirts have that pre-molded piece that comes on the B runner, and that's how all of that is held on. Here at the back, I have seen someone else say that you can cut that piece in the butt and it'll move even further up, but I'm not going to do that here. The backpack and the butt, when it's a great kit when the butt flap actually moves, it's not just solid. There is a little movement in that, and it does open up to reveal more armor parts. The backpack has the same, the opening gimmick, the thruster in the middle moves, the side covers move, the tanks will move slightly. And then let's move up and we'll actually talk about the funnels. So if you pull this piece out on the funnel holder or the binder, you can pull the back piece out, spread the sides open, and that's kind of like a locking mechanism for them. They're held in place by a little inner peg. These are all individually built. It was a slightly tedious part of the build, but not that bad. You just, cut out all the pieces at once, and then I sat there for a little sanding session to get the nubs off. Not too bad. And that's what an open funnel looks like. Now, I had the piece left over from the Yak Doga, as you would have seen, and that has in the preview, and that has all the funnels kind of flying out of the backpack. If you could just get some clear PVC piping for that, or alternately, I think Bandai sells some figurized stands which have like a blast off kind of look to them to give it more mobility, and that just closes up like that. Again, push that peg in. I have a bit of a nub mark on mine, but I'll be painting, so not an issue. There's a bit of movement in those binders side to side and a little up and down. Now, if we come back around to the front skirts, you can see up under there, the front and side skirts are all individual off of the actual centerpiece of the waist. That's really cool. The legs will turn, go up, down. They will get blocked by the butt flap, which you can lift up a little, but you'll hit the propellant tanks. And he has huge thighs, or not thighs, sorry, shins, calves. That was the muscle I was looking for. So he won't go too far at the back, but at the front, he will go all the way up. The foot has 3 points of articulation to it, and that is really crazy detailed. They're gigantic feet, and that's what helps him stand up. The front shin guard will move a little. The knee moves a little, and then you have all of these vernier thrusters on the legs. This piece here at the side with 3 verniers on it will expand upwards. There you go. Give it more of a flight move. And then it's exposed at the back. I just love the color separation on this kit. It's crazy. He will do a full-on splits. That is crazy as well, because the side skirts will go all the way up. And you would think after all of this, you know, playing and movement and posing, I would have loosened something up, but no. Up under there, you will notice that the waist joint actually has very similar to the Mark II 2.0 MG kit, which is why I said this is a lot like an MG. The legs will rotate forward or back to give it kind of different posability. Here he is in a pose with the funnels flying, the beam rifle. He's looking pretty angry. He's got the beam tomahawk with the gigantic effect part on there. This thing is huge, and just to prove how big he actually is, here he is with the real grade Mark II, one of the best real grades you can get prior to this kit. Really solid, and he's dwarfing him. Got to remember, this is a Gundam from you know, a few years earlier, but just look how short and small he is in comparison. There you go, next to the 16.1 meter MG, which is the Sandrock that I reviewed earlier, a few months back. So maybe another MG, which I didn't want to get my Mark II Titans out, but would be more similarly sized to it, but he is actually bigger than some MG kits. Crazy for a real grade. And that's it, guys. End of the review. I know it's been a long one. Thanks for sticking with it. I highly recommend this kit. I cannot recommend it enough. If you're going to buy one real grade this year, I would say buy this one or the new Gundam, which I'm going to get to. But just for the solidity of it, crazy amount of accessories, and I just can't get over how solid it is. Color separation and stuff aside, this is just amazing. Alright guys, thanks very much for joining me for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all the playing with, and make sure you go out, get your own, build it, and let us know if you've built this kit in the review. If you've built this kit at the bottom of this review in the comments. Leave a comment, like, and let us know what you thought. Alright, thanks for now. Bye bye.